Hello, everyone. This is Nasir Qureshi, Realtor Daddy with Texas Signature Realty in Houston, Texas. We are bringing you on demand another great value-packed episode of Wisdom Wednesday show. We have very special guest with us, Miss Beatriz Cruz. Thank you and welcome being with us. How are you, Beatriz?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me on your show.
Oh, fantastic. We are so glad to have you. I know you're very busy. You have a lot of great projects going on. And I saw your story about your post, and of course, know you a little bit. And you have such a great story to share with people. And I wanted to have you on our show. So tell us, who is Beatrice and where is she from?
So believe it or not, I'm not from Houston. I'm a Dallas native, and I was born and raised in Dallas. And I moved here probably over 17 years ago. And the reason for that was my mom was relocating to Houston. She wanted to be closer to Galveston Beach and all that stuff, and she wanted to change. So we moved out here. And ever since then, I realized that Houston was a big city, bigger than Dallas, and that they had a lot of opportunities. And I started when I first got here, just learning on different things that I could do to try to grow as my, I grow as a person, but also grow in my career. And I just found that this city provided a lot of opportunity for me to grow and to change. So that's kind of where I came from.
Yeah, Houston is definitely a great city and has a lot to offer. So I know you're very involved in real estate. We'll get to that, but let's learn that what were you doing before real estate?
Yeah, so when I migrated down here from Dallas, I started off working as an optician. And
Hmm.
let me ask you, do you know what an optician is?
Optician, I'm wearing glasses, so yes.
Okay, well, you're one of the few people, okay? Most people do not know what an optician is. Well, an optician is a person that works side by side with the eye doctors and helps people, get glasses or fit contacts and things like that. So in Dallas, I had got certified to do that. And when I came down to Houston, of course, I immediately jumped into the medical field and started working as an optician. And my idea was I will learn how to do this very well, and then I will go back to school and I'll become an eye doctor, right? And so that was my plan. And the idea behind being an eye doctor, the whole idea was one, I always had the desire to have my own company because my father was an entrepreneur and he had his own business, and I wanted to be like my father, right? My mom worked for the school district, and she did a really good job in the education field for many years before she retired. But I admired my father for his entrepreneurial spirit, right? And so I was like, I want to have my own company one day. How can I do this? And I figured, okay, I can start from the bottom and I can work my way up to be a doctor, own my own practice. And then maybe I can do some social work where, as I worked in the industry, I found that a lot of people had financial troubles and couldn't afford glasses because, believe it or not, glasses are extremely expensive
They
in the
are.
US. Yeah, I mean, you could pay over $1,000 for a pair of glasses. And so not just anybody can afford that. And so I thought, okay, maybe I can also contribute to society by starting some social work or some, charities where we could give free glasses to people and things like that. So initially, that was my dream. That was where I was headed before I found real estate.
Okay. And what makes you to get in the real estate industry?
So as I was trying to become this doctor, right, that I had in my mind that I was going to be, I found out that I was going to have to leave my job and I was going to have to go to school full time for 4 years in optometry school.
Hmm.
And optometry school was not cheap. Okay, I was going to end up with over $100,000 worth of debt by the time I was done.
Correct.
And I had two daughters that I was raising. Okay, that as a single mother, that was just not going to be a feasible option for me. And I had to, at that point, figure out what other route I could take to become this, business owner or self-employed entrepreneur, whatever. I had to find another route. And it was funny because I was leasing an apartment complex at the time, and this was in Pearland, Texas. So if you're familiar with Houston, it's a suburb outside south of Houston, which is a really nice suburb as well. And I was living in an apartment that at the time ended up catching fire. And the night that I was, it was a Friday night around 2 a.m, and I was woken up. People were knocking on my door, banging on my door. And I was like, what the heck is going on? So I opened the door, and all I seen was smoke coming over the building. It was just engulfing the building. And the firemen were like, get out, there's a fire. And at that time, my kids were asleep. So I had to run, grab them, and run out of the apartment really fast. And that day was life-changing for me, because I was like, as much as I want to sit here and think about how I'm going to get out, how I'm going to change my life, that was the point that I didn't have a choice. I didn't have a choice anymore. I had to make a decision how I was going to do this. And I think that because that happened to me, something went off in my head and said, you need to find a way to buy a house, because you can't live in this apartment complex anymore and then be at the mercy of somebody who wants to leave a candle on, or, burn something in their kitchen, and then you might end up dying, or your kids could die. So I took it upon myself. The apartment complex let me out of my lease, okay, which was a blessing in disguise. And I took it upon myself to educate and find out how I could purchase my first home. So I ended up at the library. Okay, that was at the time, the internet is a big thing now, right? But YouTube was not a big thing back then. This was around 2016. So I think YouTube was just getting started. So the only real resource that I had, because I didn't come from a family of homeowners, was to find the information at the library. So as I read through more and more books on how to buy a house, I kept running into the same thing. And it all said, invest in real estate by buying a house that needs some work, fixing it up, and then flipping it for a profit. And so I was like, okay, I guess I need to buy a beat up house, right?
Right.
Buy it for cheap, get in there, fix it, flip it, and then, lease it out and do it again. So I started my journey. I had I had about, I don't know, $5,000 that I had made from the insurance fire claim. Okay, I got lucky because at the time I had no money saved up, because I was living paycheck to paycheck. And I was like, okay, these $5,000, I'm going to use them to get this house. I worked with one realtor who unfortunately didn't see my vision. Okay, and she kept taking me to homes that were at the very, very, max of my pre-approval that I had at the time with Bank of America. And little did I know that was probably one of the worst lenders to work with. But so anyhow, I ended up with her after a few homes. I found my way. She ended up not answering my calls anymore. Okay. I guess I was one of those hard clients that are shopping in those low price points that require a lot of work. And so I ended up finding a real estate agent who was listing a house. Okay. And he was an investor. And so long story short, he became my mentor, and one thing led to another, and here's how I ended up in real estate.
Fantastic. What a great story. So tell us that, what do you have to offer to people?
So after working in the industry now since 2017, okay, because that's when I officially joined, I realized that there was a lot of other people like me, right? That there was a lot of people that were looking for a way out of the 9-to-5 job. They were looking for a way to create financial freedom for their families, to build a solid retirement. And having the expertise and the knowledge that I have now from learning lending, right? From learning how real estate works, and to where I am today, to where we're building properties from the ground up, and we automatically have equity in these properties. All of these years of knowledge that I've gained, I've been able to create now a mentorship program that I started to teach other people how to do what I'm doing, right? And how to fast track that. so that they don't have to go through all the years, right, of pain and struggle and learning and failures that I had to go through. But they can acquire this a lot faster with a true mentor that can hold their hand through the process. So I've put that together, and it's been a journey, but I figured out two things. I figured out that I have a little both of my parents. My dad's entrepreneurial spirit and my mom's love for teaching. And so I've paired those up together, and I found what I truly like to do.
Great, very value. You are providing great service, and I wish that I could find somebody that to shorten the learning curve of things that I have learned and continue to, right? That no one taught me, right? And I wish I could find long time ago that, right? So here you are, you're offering that. The problem is, what I also learned in my life, that when we have answers to our questions or desires or what we want, like sometimes we have an answer, or someone right front of our face, someone that can give us an answer to our questions or goals, then we become skeptical, right? So it's very sad human nature. So how people contact you if they want to uh, contact you or learn about what you do in your service?
So I think the best way for people to stay in contact nowadays is really to follow each other on social media.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, social media has provided an outlet for us to all really connect with each other and meet amazing people that if we did not have this opportunity, we would maybe never get to meet. Like you, I've met you on social media,
Yes, we
you know?
did.
And I mean, so I would say, please follow me. Okay. If you follow me on Facebook, my name is Beatriz Cruz. You can follow me on pop up on there. You'll see my background cover has a construction property on there. I really use my social media as much as I can to promote what we're doing, right? As far as business goes. So yeah, that's the best way to get in contact with me is through social media. And we can stay connected that way. And of course, the name of our company, our development company is Miraz Developments. And we have Miraz Developments Facebook business page and Instagram page as well.
Fantastic. So in recapping, you are a real estate agent. You also teach how to build properties and construction, new constructions or equity, and in the real estate portfolio, how to develop that for profit. Also, you have quite a bit of experience with new constructions as well, and you're also in real estate lending, right?
Yes.
And you're teaching all that.
Yep, I am. So I'm teaching obviously how to build properties for a profit. Okay. If you prefer to just invest your capital because maybe you're doing really well in your business, but you know as a business owner that you need to build that retirement up and you would like to invest in real estate, I provide outlets for investors to be able to join in these profit-making strategies through new construction. So they can contact me and we can discuss those options as well. And then of course, you know, part of teaching the new construction is teaching people how to get access to capital via financing, which is super important, right? So that you can make these projects a reality. So that's a big portion of our mentorship.
What in the last question, what is one advice that you would give to the younger generation to overall or in life, just generally, what one advice would you give that may make a difference in somebody's life now or in the future when watch this interview?
I think the advice that I would give them is to never stop growing. Growth is an enabler of success. And as long as you're moving in any direction, okay, it could be if you're moving towards real estate or if you're moving towards medical or if you're moving towards financial, whatever it is, if you're passionate about it and you continue to grow naturally, you will reach, your desired levels of success. But growth is essential. So just make sure you're growing.
Growing always, right? If not growing, we're dying, right? Someone
Yes.
said, someone said that, right?
Yeah.
Miss Miss
Don't get stuck.
Beatrice, yes, don't get stuck, right? Don't get stuck.
Yeah.
Miss Beatrice is been a really pleasure to have you. And we're looking forward to connect with you and perhaps have you again on our show. You have so much to offer, and please give us your social media links so we can put it on YouTube and wherever we can. Thank you so much for spending some time with us.
I sure will. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.